What's going on, Knicks Nation? We are back for another player preview. We have Pacome Dadiet. Excited to get into some conversation regarding the new Knicks rookie that they drafted in the first round. Dadiet also played in the Summer League. We saw a little bit of glimpses of what he can provide as well. But Chris, let's get into Dadiet. A little bit of a raw prospect, right?
Yeah, definitely a raw prospect. He's a young kid, only 19, I believe. I don't think he's hit 20 yet, but
19.
somebody who we saw in the G League and you know,
Summer
obviously
League, Summer
looked
League.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's right, Summer League. Who looked extremely raw, right? He had plenty of opportunities to get shots up and things of that nature. But somebody who's projecting like a 3 and D type of player who can kind of do a little bit of everything, which I like. What were your thoughts of Daddy A in summer league?
I thought he looked like a little bit of a deer in the headlights when first couple of games was occurring, but I feel like towards the back end of our summer league action, as our summer league was dwindling down, I feel like the Knicks actually found a rhythm for him, and he actually got a rhythm going. From three, he wasn't really shooting the ball well, but he was finishing around the rim pretty well. I think the best game he had in summer league, he scored 12 points or something like that against the Detroit Pistons, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 12 points on 4 or 5 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. So he finished off summer league. His last 3 games from 3, he was 0 of 9 from behind the arc. So he has a high arcing shot. I love his shooting motion, but raw prospect, right? And a little bit of a scouting report, like you said, Chris. Versatile 3 and D wing with great size. He's a good athlete. Has sneaky athleticism. Solid leaper off 1 or 2 feet. Great built. Has an NBA body despite his young age. High basketball IQ. Makes the right decision. So look, he's raw, right?
Yeah,
He's 19 years old. So don't expect anything within the next 2 to 3 years from Daddy. But what I love is that, one, the Knicks have great history drafting in the back end of the first round. Emmanuel Quickly, Grimes. We still don't know the Kring Grimes is ceiling, but Grimes is also a good player. Hopefully he shines in Dallas, right?
yeah.
So they targeted Daddy A. They drafted him. He's super young, and it's just, I guess we just wait and see, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much all we can do. Summer League gave us a little glimpse, and like you said, I think it's important to note that the last few games in the summer league, he showed improvements.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't go out there and drop 50 or 30 or whatever the case may be, but he got better, and that's a positive. When you have a raw prospect like Daddy A, it's important to see that they're improving, even if it's small little increments, because it shows that they're getting it, and they could get it little by little. But like you mentioned, I think it's 2 or 3 years down the road. We'll probably start hearing about Daddy coming onto the NBA roster or getting meaningful minutes, at least at that level.
I think so because, in 2 to 3 years and 3 to 4 years, do the Knicks foresee him being a starting wing in the NBA or a nice solid depth wing in the NBA? Are they going to develop him? And I have tons of faith that they will. We've seen that the Knicks can develop young players. Pretty much he's just going to take this year to maybe the next couple of years and just sit back, develop a little bit behind the scenes, pick the brains of Obi of not Obi, I almost said Obi Toppin, of OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, because who better to pick brains from than those two, right?
Right, right.
So
Those are
I'm
those are
excited for
again
that.
3 and D wings, kind of in the mold of what Daddy A, I'm sure, wants to become, and
Yeah.
then some. Well, there's no better mentors in my opinion than those two guys right there. But yeah, Daddy A seems like I think a worthwhile risk where they got him. Obviously, the Knicks see something in him that they feel he can be, part of the next generation per se. I'm excited. He's got some pretty interesting, player comps. Obviously, that's not to say he's going to become these players or even
Yeah.
get close to their ceiling, but you're hearing guys like Sean Elliott, for the OGs that remember Sean Elliott out there. Jaime Jaquez, obviously he's with the Heat, a rookie who kind of made his mark right off the bat. Not expecting that from Daddy A per se, but pretty interesting comps. You got Gordon Hayward comps out there And of course, we've heard the Paul George comps, which would be amazing, but again, um, you don't want to put that on Daddy A at this point in time.
That would be amazing. And look, he has the tools in my opinion. And he has the tools to be a great NBA player in this league. He has the size, he has the length, he can shoot, like I said, high arcing shot, great finisher around the rim. His basketball IQ, sometimes in the summer league, I thought was pretty good. Knew where to go in certain situations with Tyler Kolek running the offense, which I liked. And don't forget, he was playing overseas, so this is all like kind of new to him. And sometimes it takes these guys, a couple of years. Like we saw it. I'm not comparing him, but with Frank Ntilikina, it took, like we thrusted him in situations where, now I get it, he was the lottery pick, right? So you kind of had to, and we sucked at the time. But
Yeah.
some players take a while to develop, and you're kind of seeing that in other sports as well. Football, quarterbacks. Sometimes these guys are better off sitting back, watching, learning, studying from their peers. And Daddy A has a couple of years to do that, and I think in the next couple of years we're going to see some good things from Daddy A. I truly do. Yeah,
Hopefully, and well said, because when it comes to summer league, or in general, when it comes to Daddy A and a prospect that raw, it's not really about, hey, how many points did you drop in summer league. It's not really about, hey,
exactly.
how did you do. It's more about, what's your process, what are your reads, how are you reacting on defense, what are your reactions on offense, are you making the right play. And I think Daddy showed that he has a good feel for the game even at this young age. Obviously didn't look pretty at every step of the way, but there's a good solid foundation there to work on. And I think the Knicks are poised to, bring the best out of Daddy in the years to come.
They are, and he wasn't really overseas. He wasn't really called upon to score. He rarely got above 20 minutes a game. He was it was a learning curve for him over there too. There was a few times where he dropped over 17 points on an efficient night, and his three-point shot needs a little work. But scouts have said that it can grow into he can grow into a nice 3-point shooter, maybe 35%. Think he plays this year, Pacome Dadiet?
No, I don't think he plays this year. Not in the NBA, at least. Obviously, I think we'll see a lot of Daddy in G League. The only way I see him playing in the NBA is if we get decimated by injuries again, and even then, I hope that's not the case. But yeah, I think we'll mostly see Daddy in G League.
In a few years, do you feel like Daddy A can become starting wing in this league, or starting wing with the New York Knicks? Do you feel like the Knicks can groom him, develop him behind the scenes? Because this was their first round pick since Obi Toppin, believe it or not.
Yeah,
So
which is crazy. Which is
yeah,
crazy.
so
That's hard to say. I mean,
and
he
they've
has
had
a
success.
lot. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has a lot of competition along the way. That's for sure. But if it plays out well and he does become a solid 3-and-D player, there's always room for that, in my opinion, on an NBA roster. So I can't really knock it either. Maybe not a starter, but definitely a solid backup.
yeah. I mean, I can't. I foresee him being. I don't know. I got to see some more from him. I guess summer league. We're so quick to judge these guys, and a lot
Yeah.
of Knicks fans were pretty much down on him during the summer league, and I get it. But sometimes it takes these guys develop, and the Knicks, we don't need him this year. Like we don't. Like this is a project. You throw him behind the scenes, and you just let him develop behind the scenes, and you just see what happens in the next couple of years, because we don't need him this year in case. I mean, only in case something drastically happens, like an injury, which we don't want. He'll turn 20 next July, and he's 6'8". So next July he could be 6'10".
That's right. Now that you mention it, I believe they had him listed, smaller than he actually was
Yeah.
when he was drafted. So he's still a kid that's still growing, and that's insane. To have someone of his size, damn near close to a 7-footer, who can possibly, dribble, pull up, be a 3-and-D wing. That's you could see why the Knicks were intrigued and wanted to, take a gamble on a Daddy.
Yeah, and look, I think in a few years we'll see something from Daddy A, and hopefully we'll see some highlights this year from Daddy A. Who knows? I mean, you never know. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to touch on, Daddy A?
Yeah, one thing I loved about Dadier was that when he was drafted, they were like, "Hey, are you going to be stashed or something like that?" And he was like, "Nah,
Wow.
I want to be on the Knicks.
Yeah.
I want to be there. I'm going to work my ass off, and I'm gonna,
I like that.
I love that. I love that. It shows his character. It shows that he obviously knows he has a lot to prove and a lot to work on, and he's game for it. And I think that just again fits this team, even down to the rookies. Right, these guys, they're hungry, and I love it. I love it. I hope Daddy, works on his game, and who knows, maybe we're saying 2, 3, 4 years down the line. Who's to say it's not 1.5 years down the line, or
Yeah.
or on the short end of two. So he definitely seems like he's ready to go and wants to obviously make this roster sooner than later.
I'm happy you brought that up because that shows that he's hungry and he's like, no, I don't want to be stashed, and I have no plans about doing that. I want to compete in training camp. I want to show Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks front office that they did the right thing by drafting me in the first round with the number 25th overall pick. Knicks have had success with that pick, ladies and gentlemen. Just watch out for Pacome Dadiet, and we'll just have to wait and see what transpires regarding him. Any bold predictions you have on Dadier this season?
I say he averages 20 points per game in the G League.
20
In the
points?
G League. Yes.
I like it, man. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that.
There we go.
I'll be signed up for that too. All right, that was Pacome Dadier, another player preview in the books. In case you missed it, we're doing a player preview for every single Knick. Our last player preview can be seen right here on the screen. Subscribe to the channel. Support Knicks Nation on YouTube. We'll catch you in the next player preview. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation.
I'm Chris.
We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.